NBA Tuesday is here, and for today, I got my 3 favorite plays on the board with all the stats, breakdowns, and analysis that you need to know before the games tip off. Now, for today's video, guys, I spent a little bit of extra time digging into today's picks, and let me tell you, these picks today are going to smash. In fact, if we don't go a perfect 3-0 in today's video, I am hooking everybody up with 24 hours of my VIP picks completely free. All you have to do is comment VIP on today's video, and I will get in touch with you tomorrow if even one of today's picks miss, but they won't. Now, Jared Allen, Mikal Bridges, those guys sold us yesterday on PrizePicks in yesterday's video, but Paul George, he understood the assignment. He cashed for us on Novig. In fact, we went a perfect 3 for 4 on Novig inside my VIP community just yesterday, which is where I post my very best picks every single day. Now, speaking of that VIP community, guys, you have to come hang out with me, 211 other sports-obsessed maniacs, using the link that we left in the description of this very video. Not only is this the place that I personally post my very best picks every single day, but it's also where we obsess over sports like it's just the boys hanging out at the bar on a Saturday night. It's where we celebrate our wins, lament our losses, sweat our picks together as a family every single day. It's where we're doing things like hosting monthly giveaways, monthly contests every single month. In fact, just yesterday, we wrapped up our March Madness Brackets contest. The top 2 scorers each walked away with their very own $50 gift card to Amazon, even though it cost them nothing to join the contest. In April, of course, we are doing an NFL mock draft competition where the high scorer is going to receive an awesome prize, even though, again, there's 0 cost to enter. So, guys, again, in short, the VIP community, my Discord server, this is where sports fans are hanging out, talking ball, making money on a daily basis. You guys can go ahead and slide right into my Discord community for free using the link that I left in the description of this very video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and top into our 3 picks for today's video, starting with Mr. Zion Williamson under 9.5 rebounds plus assists. Now, when you pop this prop open, you're going to see a lot of green on the board when assessing his last 10 games. You're going to see he has 9 or fewer rebounds plus assists in 8 out of his last 10 games, including each of the last 4. In fact, he's averaging just 7.8 RA per game over his last 10 contests. So almost a full 2 RA under the line, which is currently set at 9.5. Zoom out to his last 20, still a lot of green on the board. He has been under 9.5 RA in 15 out of his last 20 games, so about 75% of the time, averaging 7.5 per game, a full 2 points under the 9.5 line that is currently set. He is at home tonight against the Utah Jazz, and candidly, things have not gone so well at home lately for Zion Williamson. He has 9 or fewer RA in 5 out of the last 6 games that he's played at home, again, averaging 7.5 per game. Now, when you look at the matchup, it looks like this is a really weak matchup. And that's not necessarily a good thing if you're taking Zion Williamson's under, right? If it's a weak matchup, chances are he goes over. However, so if you look at the Utah Jazz, I mentioned that they're a weak matchup. That's because they rank 24th in the NBA in rebounds allowed, 30th in the NBA in assists allowed. However, if you zoom in and look at how they perform specifically against power forwards, which is what Zion Williamson is listed as, which is what he is projected to start at power forward, it's actually a much more difficult matchup than it looks for opposing power forwards. The Jazz, you can say what you want about the Jazz, but they actually rank 6th in the NBA in rebounds allowed to opposing power forwards, making them a top 6 unit against power forwards, and that's not a good thing for Zion Williamson, considering where he would be most likely to butter his bread on this particular prop is on the boards and via rebound. So if he's going up against a top 6 matchup in rebounds. That is a good thing if we're considering the under on Zion Williamson, under 9.5 rebounds plus assists. In fact, you'll see that 5 out of the last 8 power forwards that have gone up against the Utah Jazz have landed under their RA prop. So power forwards struggling a little bit lately against the Utah Jazz. In fact, Zion Williamson himself, by the way, has gone against these very same Utah Jazz 2 different times this year in particular, this season. He had just 8 RA about a little bit over a month ago on February 26th. And then a couple days later, he had just 3 RA against these very same Utah Jazz. So 2 for 2 on the under against the Jazz, even despite that quote-unquote weak matchup. Now, last but not least, you take a look at how the market is approaching this particular one. It is a narrow but confident market. Every app between PrizePicks, BetMGM, Underdog, Hard Rock, DraftKings, Caesars, The Score, Profit, X, Fliff, and Sleeper, all of them land anywhere between minus 119, which is PrizePicks, to minus 137, which is Sleeper. So all of them are confident that Zion Williamson is going to land under 9.5 rebounds plus assists. That is going to be pick number 1 for today's video. Now, diving into pick number 2, we are looking at Kevin Durant over 24.5 points. Now it's going to get a little bit more fun, right? Nobody likes rooting for unders. We like rooting for overs. They're a little bit more fun. And we found one. The data does like Kevin Durant to go over 24.5 points tonight, 10 p.m., too late for my taste, but 10 p.m. in Phoenix against the Phoenix Suns. Now, when you look at Kevin Durant's last 10, there's a lot of green on the board, right? He has 25 or more points in 8 out of his last 10 games. He's actually averaging 26.9 per game over his last 10, so a full 2+ points over where the line is currently set at 24.5. That is great news if we're considering the over here. Now, if you look at the matchup, there's no sugarcoating it. There's no denying it. This matchup is absolutely brutal. The Phoenix Suns rank number 6 in the NBA when it comes to points allowed in general. They're even better against power forwards. They're number 1. This is technically the most difficult matchup available for a power forward. Obviously, that's not good news if we are considering the over on Kevin Durant over 24.5 points. However, you got to remember that this is Kevin Durant that we're talking about. This is one of those guys where matchups don't necessarily matter. In fact, you'll see he put 31 points on the Warriors just 2 days ago. The Warriors are a top 12 defense in the NBA. He put 27 points on the New York Knicks, a top 5 defense in the NBA. That was on March 31st, not too long ago. He put 30 points on the Minnesota Timberwolves back on March 25th. They are a top 11 defense in the NBA. And oh yeah, by the way, he's already gone against these very same Phoenix Suns 2 different times this season, and he has 26 or more points in both of them. December 5th, he put 28 points on Phoenix. And then January 5th, he put 26 points on Phoenix. You could even go with the revenge game narrative of him going against his former team in the Phoenix Suns. So yes, is it a difficult matchup? Yes. Is it a matchup he's already beat twice this year? Absolutely. So we're not as worried about the matchup as we would for more of a role player. Kevin Durant is still Kevin Durant. He's still going to get his. Perhaps more importantly than any of that, you take a look at how about how bettors and sharp bettors are approaching this game. You'll see here that 84% of bets and 90% of sharp money is on the over in this game. So everybody and their mom is hammering the over in this contest, telling us this theoretically should be a higher scoring environment than was originally expected. And that's obviously great news when you're considering a high scorer in Kevin Durant and him going over his point prop. That's great news. Furthermore, 66% of bets, 60% of sharp money is currently on the Rockets to cover the spread. So not only do we have a higher scoring environment in the game, but we're also expecting a higher scoring environment, particularly on the Rockets side of the ball. All of that is great news when you're considering Kevin Durant over 24.5 points. Last but not least, you take a look at the market, and again, it's mostly a narrow but confident market. You'll see Sleeper is very bullish on it. They have it at minus 154. Fliff has it at minus 145. But then you got Underdog, Hard Rock, Kalshi, DraftKings, Novig, and DraftKings. They're all landing anywhere between minus 120, minus 124. PrizePicks has it at minus 119. Bet Rivers and Caesars have it at minus 118. And last but not least, we have the score at minus 115. So most of the market is in alignment on this. Most of the market is confident that Kevin Durant is going to go over 24.5 points. That is pick number 2 on the day. Guys, I am taking this one on Betr. This is a 2-man slip that I personally am taking on Betr, B-E-T-R. If you guys are not familiar with Betr, I highly recommend changing that. Use code BBSMikey when you create an account on Betr. You are going to get $200 in bonuses. You are going to get a free pick tonight in tonight's action, and you are going to get 30 days free inside my VIP community, which you can join using the link that we left in the description of this particular video. So grab this 2-man slip on Betr. Again, we are looking at Zion Williamson under 9.5 rebounds plus assists, Kevin Durant over 24.5 points, and again, we are grabbing this on Betr. Code BBSMikey. You guys are going to get $200 in bonus play. You're also going to get a free pick on tonight's action. Now, for today's bonus pick, the third pick that I'm throwing into today's video for free, we are talking Jason Tatum over 8.5 rebounds. But we are talking Jason Tatum over 8.5 rebounds specifically on Novig, N-O-V-I-G, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. Now, the reason we're approaching this one, for starters, Jason Tatum has 9 or more rebounds in 8 out of his last 9 games that he's played. He's actually averaging 11.2 rebounds per game over his last 9 games. So he's clearing that 8.5 mark with relative ease lately over his last 9 games. In fact, he's only played 14 games this season, but he has 9 or more rebounds in 10 of them. So 71% of the time this season, he's getting you at least 9 rebounds. He's averaging 10.14 per game here in 2025. Now, when you look at the matchup, it looks terrifying on the surface, right? Technically, the Charlotte Hornets rank number 1 in the entire NBA when it comes to rebounds allowed. There's no opponent that's more difficult to get rebounds against than the Charlotte Hornets. However, it gets a little bit more mediocre. Not good. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It's not a good matchup for Jason Tatum. But when you zoom into how they perform against power forwards, you're going to see that they rank a somewhat mediocre 10th in the NBA when it comes to rebounds allowed specifically to power forward. So maybe not as much of a difficult matchup specifically for Jason Tatum than it is for pretty much everybody else on the Boston Celtics. Now, in fact, you're going to see that each of the last 5 power forwards that have gone up against the Charlotte Hornets have been able to clear their rebounding prop. Each of the last 5. Julius Randle, Obi Toppin, Kobe Brown, Pascal Siakam, Oso, Iguodaro, each of the last 5 have been able to clear their rebounding prop. All of that is good news when you're considering Jason Tatum over 8.5 rebounds. Furthermore, you're going to see that the Charlotte Hornets actually rank, they're tied for 23rd in the NBA when it comes to field goal percentage allowed. So definitely bottom 7 in the NBA and getting the ball through the basket. And if the ball's not going through the basket, that creates rebound chances, rebound opportunities. Again, good news for Jason Tatum over 8.5 rebounds. Now, last but not least, and this is the most important thing to tune into, again, I am taking this one specifically on Novig because as you'll see here, they are among the best priced for this particular prop, right? Bet Rivers has it at minus 122. Sleeper has it at minus 119. Looks like Underdog has come down to minus 113. PrizePicks had it at minus 119. Fliff minus 110, Kalshi minus 107, Caesars minus 102, but then you get to Novig plus 106. You are getting plus money on a pick that many other apps have priced either as a confident pick or at worst a coin flip pick. And if you're playing on Novig, you can get this one at plus money, which is what I did just a few minutes ago. Guys, if you're not familiar with Novig, I highly recommend changing that. Novig has become my very favorite place to play, partially because I live in Wisconsin where you cannot play in typical sportsbook, But because Novig is a sports prediction market, not a sports book, you can play on Novig. And unlike PrizePicks, unlike Underdog, you don't need 2 or more entries to submit a slip. If you want just Jason Tatum over 8.5 rebounds, you can play just Jason Tatum over 8.5 rebounds. You can play it by itself. That is why I absolutely love Novig. You don't need to pair it up with something else. I also love that, by the way, I'm playing this on Novig because the pricing on it is so good. Novig is frequently among the best priced apps, best priced books. You can get some of the best possible payouts on Novig that you just can't get anywhere else. It's very rare that I see DraftKings offering a better price than I see Novig. So definitely check out Novig. Even if you live in a state where you cannot play on sportsbooks, Novig is probably a perfect alternative for you, just like it is for me living in Wisconsin. Use code BBSMikey, and they are going to give you $50 when you just spend $5. So even if you wanted to throw a $5 bill on Jason Tatum going over 8.5 rebounds on Novig, and even if that somehow lost, even if that pick missed, you're still up $45 because they're handing you $50 for free. So use code BBSMikey. Check out Novig. It's by far my favorite place to play. All right, guys. So to recap today's picks, we are going with Zion Williamson under 9.5 rebounds plus assists, plus Kevin Durant over 24.5 points. We're taking that two-man action over on Betr. Use code BBSMikey. You're going to get $200 in bonuses. And then again, on Novig, we're taking Jason Tatum over 8.5 rebounds. Use code BBSMikey. You're going to get 50 when you just spend 5. That's all I got for you guys in today's episode. If you like this content, be sure to like it. Let me know if you want me to continue creating more of this content every single day. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing some baseball videos here pretty soon, so subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and other than that, I wish you guys the best of luck. I will see you tomorrow. Come hang out with me in Discord. Come hang out with me on TikTok. I will see you guys tomorrow. Good luck. Let's make some money.